Hello and welcome to Ionic 2 by example. In this course, you'll learn how to develop mobile apps with Ionic. Thanks to the Ionic framework, you can create mobile apps using the same technologies you use for web applications like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I'm Mirko Nasato and have over 15 years of experience developing software, including native Android and iOS apps. In June 2015, I published my first online course on Ionic 1, and it proved pretty popular, so more recently I also published a course on Angular 2. Please have a look at my biography page if you'd like to know more about myself. Now, why would you want to learn Ionic? Suppose you want to publish a mobile app that works on different platforms. You can use the native tools provided by each vendor, but in that case you need to create one project for Android, writing the code in the Java language, then create another project for iOS using either Objective-C or Swift. And of course, in addition to different languages, you also need to learn how to use different tools, libraries, and so on. After all that, you probably still want a mobile website as well, so use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript anyway. With Ionic, you can write your app as a single code base, and from a single project generate a mobile website, an Android app, an iOS app, and possibly a Windows Phone app as well. That's a huge advantage. Not only that, but you can use the same web technologies that hopefully you're already familiar with. In fact, this course will be especially useful to you if you are a web developer and want to use your existing skills for creating mobile apps as well. Now, Ionic 2 is built on top of some other technologies, and this course assumes some previous knowledge of them. For a start, you should definitely know the fundamentals of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I won't teach you the basics of programming in JavaScript here. Ionic 2 is based on Angular 2, the web framework created by Google developers, and Angular 2 is quite a big topic on itself. In fact, I have an entire separate course that covers it, so I strongly recommend learning Angular 2 before starting this course. On the same note, Angular and Ionic apps are typically written in the TypeScript language. Now, TypeScript is basically JavaScript plus some optional static typing, so it's not like a completely different language, but I do expect you to have some familiarity with it. We'll also use command line tools quite a lot, so it helps if you are comfortable using a terminal or command prompt. As for your computer, you can use macOS, Windows, or Linux, whichever you prefer. Just be aware that compiling iOS apps requires macOS, but you can still build Android apps and obviously web apps on any system. In the course, we'll start by writing a first simple application called the Love Calculator, and by doing that we'll learn the basics like how to create a project, how to use Ionic visual components, customize their styles, and so on. Then we'll see how to publish our project as a mobile website and how to make it a progressive web app, that is, an app that people can start using as a mobile website and then progressively use more like a native mobile app. Next, we'll see how to build and run our project both as an Android app and as an iOS app. We'll also see how to use native mobile APIs, that is, features that are not normally available to web applications, but that we can access when running our apps on Android and iOS. In the following section, we'll start building a more complex application called the Expense Tracker, and in the process, we'll cover more Ionic components, navigation, form validation, etc. Then we'll look at how to store data for our application using web technologies like local storage and IndexedDB. Finally, we'll see how to exchange data with a server by making HTTP requests and integrate with a REST API. So if you're ready to start building mobile apps with Ionic, let's get started.